I came across this video wherein the woman was pregnant and her husband was behaving absolutely inconsiderate towards her, and that does not make sense to me. It is not just that she's carrying your child, but also the fact that she is your significant other. And even if she weren't your significant other, if there is a person who's pregnant, or a person who's disabled, a person who is in need, wouldn't you feel the need yourself to perhaps be considerate? Welcome, or perhaps welcome back to my channel. Well, this is the second video I'm speaking, so not much of a welcome back, I guess. But today's video was prompted by an unfortunate interaction that I had with some men online. Well, we all know Discord. Quite shameful as I say that. I was on Discord. Well, a friend of mine called and he suggested that we go and just speak on Discord, like on voice chats, you know the drill probably. And we came across a couple of rather young men. So there was this one channel, server. So yeah, that was quite fine. People were speaking of literature and poetry and this and that, but we landed in another server and it was disheartening how men speak about women these days. So we could gauge by the conversation that it was not going to be great, but I do tend to lean towards experiments. So I decided to speak. So I did speak. And would you believe it didn't go well? So it started with a simple hello, and then there was just weird silence, as if hearing a woman was awkward for them, which again does not make any sense to me. Like, how does that even happen? Somehow, still, we tried to provoke a conversation. And then my friend who was with me asks, hey, don't you feel like being a woman? Don't you feel awkward being on Discord? And this is a question that he came up with so that the other people would have some sort of response to it. And before I could say anything about as to why I am on internet, everybody, and all of them were men, were ready with their opinions. And the primary opinion was that, well, of course, only ugly women come on Discord because they want attention. So I was like, okay, that is wildly inappropriate, but we didn't want to end the conversation there. So I asked, if women come on Discord for attention, why do men do the same? Is it for attention? Apparently, our research shows that men come there just for fun, but women, not so much. They definitely come there just for attention, because concept of having fun as a woman, just it's not a thing. Which brings me to today's topic. I just realized that I took about 4 minutes to come to today's topic, which is men online. And I don't really have a script for a video. That's not how I go. By the way, the makeup today is inspired by The Love Witch and her disappointment in men. As much as I love the aesthetic of the movie, certain opinions that The Love Witch has, we may differ. I'm saying a lot of but, and a lot of buts. So, coming to the dreaded topic of men on internet. Now, please understand that I'm not trying to generalize all men. There are wonderful men out there, and I have had pleasant conversations and great interactions with men online, but I'm talking about the other, can't call it half because I don't have the statistics, but a particular group of men who behave a certain way. Now, just being in women's comment section and feeling this urge to comment vile things, derogatory things, that is a type of urge that I would never understand. If you do not like some kind of content, you're always free to skip. Then there are type of men who are very vocal about how women are their property and don't you dare step out of the house. Where this notion comes from, well, we could trace it down to several places, and even other women, not to blame women for how men have turned out to be, but we have to also acknowledge the fact that a lot of men now were someone's son. Well, of course, of a father and a mother, or mother and a mother, or a father and a father, so on and so forth. Or just a mother, a single mother, or a single father, whatever it may be. But it is very well possible that women also play a part in how, men speak against women. And of course, it has to do a lot with patriarchy. Anyway, I'm kind of getting lost in the one-way conversation here. But, okay. Here's the thing. I believe not all of the women, I don't speak for all of us, but a lot of women are settling for such little, like basic things that it has become a privilege to be treated like a human being. I mean, I do believe that things are much better now compared to how they were even a couple of years back, as a matter of fact. But the fact remains that accepting the bare minimum and the entire weaponized incompetence trend has led to quite poor quality. Not to dehumanize men in any way, not to generalize. I'm speaking of a particular group of men that behave a certain way. I came across this video wherein the woman was pregnant and her husband was behaving absolutely inconsiderate towards her, and that does not make sense to me. It is not just that she's carrying your child, but also the fact that she is your significant other. And even if she weren't your significant other, if there is a person who's pregnant, or a person who's disabled, a person who is in need, wouldn't you feel the need yourself to perhaps be considerate? I'm sorry, since there is no structure to the video, I could talk about anything and everything, so. That's one thing, being disappointed in men. for that one thing. Just a general inconsideration. Then again, I came across a video of this elderly woman who was very inconsiderate of a woman who was in labor. It's senseless to me. Can be explained, but has no logic whatsoever. Well, then again, we have the nice guy trope where there are people who pretend to be nice. I mean, personally, I would not want to be on paper nice person or anything. I'm fine being neutral. I do not believe that a person has to outrightly behave like you don't owe kindness, as a matter of fact, to anybody. What you do owe is basic civic sense. But apparently that is not happening either, because there are so many Reddit chats and whatnot wherein there's just complete lack of anger management almost. Because I saw this particular Reddit, I don't know what you call it, but just it was just a man talking with this woman, a screenshot of it. And initially he's very nice. He's following the complete nice guy trope. But the moment the woman shows evidently that she's not interested, they just flip. How are you flipping? If you're nice, you're nice. If you're not, you're not. And they flip in the worst way possible. It's not that you're just not nice anymore, they're pathetic. They certainly have this confidence out of nowhere to speak about these women in such derogatory way, to use slurs. Again, disappointing, truly. There's so much disgust as I say that. There is also a lot of rage, explainable rage, I feel, when we speak of these topics. Now, I would really like to know perspective of any men. If you are watching this, I would really like to know your perspective on the matter. Like, why do you think this is happening? Why do you think... Okay, let me be very clear. I do believe that there are women who also behave in certain ways that are just not explainable, that are psychotic. But for the premise of this video, we are speaking about men, of course. So that's one whole another disappointment in men that I have, and in humanity in general, really. Then there are of course the type of men who pretend to be protective. Who are you protecting women from? Other men? Is that it? Because I don't see any tiger coming my way and trying to kill me as of now. I don't know what times you are living in. Instead of raising our sons to not hurt women, we start raising this possessiveness, and we start raising women to try their best not to fall prey. Not by teaching them self-defense though, by asking them to cover up. Which again, what nonsense. we have seen brutal cases where the victims were fully clothed. There were children. Still, whatever happened, happened. It really doesn't matter what you're bearing, what's your age, whether you can walk or not, whether you can hear or not, whether anything. End of the day, we remain this sort of property. It's dehumanizing. Really trying to find words. You could consider this a rant, but it's rather just expressing disappointment. Is that what a rant is? Maybe. Then there are also just certain things that, again, are beyond my understanding. Like wanting to have relations with a minor when you are nearing death. Of course, it's not just men, it's also many women. It's also very, like, humans in general. Disappointing, nonetheless. I think I should end this video on that note, a disappointing note. Not that me being disappointed matters, but I have a platform and a voice, and I'm a woman in the 2025, so I can speak and hopefully not get harassed. That is something to be dealt with later. Oh, but some women, even in 2025, don't have a voice. Thankfully, I'm privileged enough to have this voice, and it's sad that it is a privilege to be able to have a voice. I think next video should be about how I'm disappointed in the media. Because there are a bunch of things to be disappointed about. Look around. The media, the government, men, women, humans, rich people, our favorite philosophers, writers. I have plenty to say about Albert Camus. I do like Kafka though. Now I'm just deviating. Sylvia is nice as well. Schopenhauer. Yeah, that was just random blabber. I still don't know how to end videos. Like, I don't know, so I'm just gonna end the video now.